Thousand Hats, man of 1,000 hats here, and this is not the Walther PPK, but I decided since it looks like one, we might make an effort to make fun of a particular British spy. Anyway, this is the Jiminez Arms JA32 32 ACP handgun. Pretty snappy little gun. Fairly simple. As you saw, 6 round, or actually 5+1 capacity. Weapon is safe and unloaded. Couple of things. It's a great little gun. I got mine for about $165, brand spanking new in the box at a gun show. Came with 2 magazines, owner's manual obviously. Replacement parts, you can replace everything on this gun except for the physical frame itself, because it has an integrated barrel. But the most expensive part is the slide. It's $40 whole to replace the slide. So, I mean, we're talking big bucks here. I mean, for reals. So, this gun in an empty and unloaded state does weigh more than a Taurus Millennium with a full magazine. I only know that because those are the two I have to compare side by side. So it is fairly heavy for its size. I don't have the weight. We have a nose to tail length of 5 inches, just over 5 inches, and just about 3 3/4 inches tall. Manual that comes with the gun recommends firing a 71 grain full metal jacket bullet. The first box I bought was of Winchester white box, but it was the round nosed variety, and I had a problem with those failing to feed and whatnot. So the next box I bought was these flat tipped, and they fed much better. And the forums say not to use a hollow point because you'll have failure to feed issues and because it's not as good. Well, there's my bullet that feeds better. If I can bring it into focus for you there. There's my flat nose bullet that feeds better. And there's a federal Hyra-shock. So, not measure it with a caliper or anything, but they are, for all intents and purposes, exactly the same length. And so, what we're going to do is I'm going to set the camera up downrange, and then we will do a little bit of a ammo demo. Alright, so hold on. Alright, so I'm going to attempt to put 3 or 4 shots in this undamaged area, well actually this undamaged area over here on this hollow core interior door. So you can get a good look at. Alright, so here are going to be our 3 shots right here, here, and here. And on the back, I don't know if I can get the shadows out of the way. They go straight through. So at approximately 25 yards, it's still going through a door. So the next phase of this demonstration is going to be a kind of an ammo test. I'm going to shoot one of these Winchester white box flat tip 171 grain bullets into one of these buckets, and I'm going to shoot the 65 grain Federal Hyra-shock into the other bucket. And hopefully I hit before I run out of ammo. That one was a little high. All right. Well, as you can see, we had one hit that was a little high right about here. This was our second hit. So let's go digging and see what's in here. Unfortunately, since my test medium here is dirt, it's not going to be easy for me to do a penetration analysis. Alright, primary complaint for these in regards to shooting hollow points is that for some reason they say the short barrel prevents the bullet from expanding properly. I'm not really sure. I don't know a whole lot about why bullets work. Okay, so after much exploration, here we have Federal Hyra-shock impacted with the dirt, plugged up solid. Not a whole heck of a lot of expansion or deformation. Maybe with a better media than lightly packed earth, we would get it better. Other than that, it's basically it's perfectly the same as when I shot it. Okay, now we're going to compare that to the full metal jacket. Full metal jacket did not penetrate all the way through. Yeah, this is far from the most scientific method of ballistics testing. One of these days I'll get my hands on some ballistics gel and controlled environments and do some real science then. But for now, half the fun is playing in the dirt. And here is the Winchester white box in what equates to unfired condition. To be really scientific, I'll need to get one of these days a penetration test set up to show if these rounds through this gun have any heavy kick behind them. Alright, part 3 is what's great about this gun and what's not so great about this gun. It's a great pocket size, like I said, 5 inches long. I can easily conceal this behind my wallet in my back pocket. So it's very simple to carry. Being from a smallish American manufacturer, nobody makes holsters for this gun. The holster I ended up getting was from Bulldog, and it's just a universal holster. So if you want to call that a plus, holsters are cheap. You don't have to have one that's specially designed for it. I will be including somewhere in the comments a link into the history of this gun company, but suffice it to say, Jiminez Arms is descended from the Raven Arms, Raven 25, which became the MP 25, which became the Phoenix 25. It is so it falls under the category of the Ring of Fire weapons manufacturer. So this gun is actually too new to be considered a Saturday night special, but it gets lumped in with those because it's descended from the Jennings family of firearms. So I will include a detailed, someone else spent a lot of time and money on research on this, and I'll let them explain it better. Because it is inexpensive, it does not lock open. When the last round is fired, it doesn't lock open. In fact, with it empty, the firing pin will still extend as if it's cocked and loaded and ready to go. And if you put the safety on and pull the trigger, safety is actually a crossbar trigger that will not permit the firing pin to release. You have to turn the safety off, check the weapon is clear, and fire it that way. It does not have a decocking safety, so you can't cock it, pull it back, pull the trigger, and slide it forward. That won't work either. Trigger's fully depressed and won't release. So it lacks certain modern safety features. They actually recommend carrying this cocked and locked like a 1911. You should have it cocked, one in the chamber, the safety on, and the side safety not as stiff as I'd like to be carrying it around on my personage. Because I'm right-handed, the safety would be brushing against my body and could easily be knocked into the firing position. Not much inside my waistband to hook on the trigger, and with the trigger pull on this being 8 to 10 pounds, I'm not worried about it accidentally discharging into my leg, but I would be more comfortable with a higher degree of safety. So if you want something that is inexpensive to purchase, inexpensive to feed, these little guns, and you're just using it to go punch holes in targets, it's great. First personal defense. You move into a new place, living in a bad part of town, and you're broke and you've only got $200, get you one. It'll punch holes in bad guys all day long. I would recommend saving up for something. I think you'll be a lot happier if you buy the gun you want instead of the gun you can afford. But to save your life, this gun will save your life. Fairly light recoil for a guy. If your ladies is a little recoil sensitive, you might want to go with something lighter like the 25. I don't know. I haven't shot that one yet. Anyway, I guess that's going to be all for today. Try to stay informed. Try to set a good example. Always realize that as a member of the gun culture, you are being watched. Your behavior, your attitude, and your reactions set an example for the people that you know if you're the only gun person that they know. So behave maturely, set a good example, and keep shooting. See y'all later on.